For those of you not in Queensland, the Rockhampton Ring Road is a critical piece of infrastructure, but it's now been postponed indefinitely. No new start date's been set, even though the Prime Minister, back in opposition, called the project a certainty, said it was going to happen. The Queensland government's own website proudly trumpets how good the road's going to be, improved safety, flood mitigation, increased capacity, all of those things are there and they're known. But funding for the road, first announced in 2018, was around $1.1 billion for the project, $800 million of it coming from Canberra. There's been a blowout of sorts, not by much, about $500,000. Yes, $500,000. And it was due to start in January. But before the recent budget, the Federal Minister, Madeleine King, said money's not there. Delayed, she says. It's been put off. Now, there seems to be hundreds of businesses already ready to start the road in Queensland, workers having already moved to Rockhampton to make it happen. Two of them are joining me now, business owner Jason Thomason and employee Kel Appleton. Gentlemen, thank you. Let's just start with the preparedness, I guess, to get this underway. Both of you were in place. I'll start with you, Kel, to get going with this road. January is only a couple of months away. What happened?
Well, as you said, Peter, it was promised to us, the money was promised, and then there's a blowout, There's a $6 billion blowout in the Cross River Rail, didn't seem to worry anyone. And from what we're led to believe, the state government still got their $280 million, so that gives us plenty of money to start the job and work with it. The $800 billion that was promised to us, it will keep it going. And surely, any delays are going to cost it, make the cost blow out any more. So we need to get in now. Jason's probably got a better idea of how much gear and up's going on and what's going on and the quotes and the contractors. But all we're asking is they keep the promise, we get the thing going, we take 18,000 vehicles a day out of the middle of Rockhampton and tip the other money in a couple of years' time, as it becomes available.
Jason, give us your sense of where things are up to. I mean, you would have been, I think, well and truly scaled up if you were starting in January.
Yeah, there's a lot of contractors that have scaled up. There's myself, we've been tendering on these works for the last 4 months, and there's currently 2 Tier 1 contractors that have been, they're the cheapest price, that are negotiating with the government. We have been working with those contractors. We've also had other companies in the town of Rockhampton working very hard, spending millions of dollars. Basically, there's 7 or 8 contractors alone that we've been talking to in the last week and a half. That the numbers are up near $7 million, just them alone, let alone all the other guys. It's just ridiculous.
Jason, just on that point, I'm told a quarry in particular spent a number of millions of dollars getting ready for this project. Is that right?
100%. Like Rob Hopkins from Hopkins Brothers in Rockhampton, they spent over $4 million gearing up for this project. They've aligned themselves with the Tier 1 contractor to do the works, and now he's out of pocket. Let alone all the people that have moved to Rockhampton in the last couple of years, knowing full well that there's a 4-year contract coming up, on this ring road, and that's what they've planned to do with their families. There's families up there now thinking to themselves, what are we going to do in the next little while? Because they understand that the Army Country job's nearly finished, the Rookwood Weir's probably got about 6 months, and then, the plan was for those guys to work on this job for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, Kel, let's go to that point. The workers, we want workers in regional areas, we want workflow to keep the kids in school and families in the town, but if there isn't work, they're going to have to leave.
Well, they do, and it's put pressure on, and as you know, we've had enough with COVID and the floods and everything else that goes on up there, and we don't ask for much, but and Peter, as well as I do, the billions of dollars that comes out of the royalties in Queensland, it's not a big ask to grab another 700 million and put it back into this job because, Lord, we deserve it. We've been up there. Maryboro's got a bypass, Mackay's got a bypass, Townsville's got a bypass, Gympie's got a bypass. What's wrong with Rockhampton? It's our national highway. We need it to happen. We need to take the risk out of it. You cannot cross the bridge. The ambulance, fire, police cannot get across there come school time. There's thousands of wide loads about to come with this big wind farm. They're 90 metres long. They've got to cut traffic islands. It's long overdue. This has been the pipeline for 30 years. Let's just get it going. The state government wants to do it. I don't think these guys have looked at it properly, and I'm hoping we get a change But yeah, we just need to come on board and have some common sense decisions, and that'll be everyone's favour, you know, like especially their favour.
Now, I know people are in my ear telling me I've got to let you go because you're off to see the Minister. So all the very best, and I hope you get a good hearing. Jason Thompson there, Kel Appleton. Just to be clear on those numbers, at 2018 the cost was $1.1 billion. At 2022, 4 years later, the cost is 1.7. So that's an increase. I wouldn't call it a blowout. I've seen federal budgets a lot worse than that. It's a $600 million change, and with everything going up, as we know, I think that doesn't rule it out if the government was fair income.